Begin in a comfortable seat. So as you can see, I'm using a stool. You might want to find a chair, just a regular dining room chair or a little stool if you have one handy. Anything where you can sit up nice and tall. So you've got to think about having a nice straight spine, somewhere where you can ground down through the pelvis equally. Roll the shoulders down away from your ears. Let's begin in a nice relaxed position with the palms either facing up or down on the tops of your thighs, just so you can begin with the breath. Just close down your eyes and just feel your way into a nice neutral spine. So allow the tailbone just to drift beneath you. Allow the spine to lengthen. Feel the rib cage come over into balance above the hip bone. Feet hip distance apart. Just begin to glide the shoulder blades down towards your mid-back. Sitting up a little taller, a little straighter. Beginning to acknowledge and notice any areas of tightness, any areas you feel like need a little bit more of your attention, a little bit more awareness, kindness. Allow your neck to gently elongate, decompressing the cervical spine just with a gentle lift of the crown. Visualizing space through the lumbar, through the waist, through the rib cage, all the way up to the crown of the head. Use your collarbones to gently ease apart the front of the chest. Allow the elbows to hang heavy. And you drop down into this space. Letting go of any expectations. Allowing each inhale to rise up from within, to expand upwards and outwards. And exhaling, easing down to your feet, the earth beneath you. Letting go of all of the micro muscles, any tiny areas of tension that has built. Keeping the eyes gently closed just for a little longer, just to let each breath grow a little deeper. And let the palms come up to heart center, just to invite a little bit of ritual and discipline into our practice. Lift the heart towards the base of the thumbs, let the elbows drift apart wide, opening the chest, broadening upper back. Take a big inhale to elongate up through the side of the neck to the crown. And then exhale, keep the heart lifted, just drop the chin down in towards the chest. Just lengthening back of neck and allowing the head to drift down towards the heart. Take an inhale to release the fingertips, displaying the arms wide and high as we lift all the way up. Reaching through the fingers, through the elbows, and then exhale, bring it all back down through your center line until your hands come back down to rest onto your thigh. Let the hands rest there, and we'll begin just with a neck stretch. So we want to sit up tall. We're going to work with the spine all the way through, just to make sure that there's no tenderness. Inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, drop right ear to right shoulder. Just pausing there with a gentle breath. Let the head hang a little heavier. Finding that space all the way down the side of the neck, beneath the ear to the top of the collarbone. And then inhale, tilt the head up and back, just to open gently through the throat. So it's just a halfway head roll. And then exhale, drop ear to shoulder and chin to chest. Taking it to the other side with the inhale, rolling left ear across the left shoulder. And then exhale, soften shoulders, let the weight of the head be there. Just pausing to feel right side of neck beneath the jawbone, down to the tip of the collarbone, down perhaps even through the upper arm to the fingertips. Take your next inhale when it comes to tilt the head up and back. Opening and stretching the skin of the throat, jawline to collarbone. And then exhale, let the head roll back down, ear to shoulder, and chin to chest. Let the head fall forward as you lift both arms, interlacing the fingers and resting the weight of the arms there. Take an inhale to lengthen the waist, pull the ribs up and away from the hip bones. And then exhale, just letting the upper back soften, let the chin fall forward and towards the throat, and let the elbows hang down heavy towards the knees. These opening stretches you can do up on your knees, or maybe sitting in cross-legged if your lower back and your hips allow. Sitting upright wherever you are, grounding down to your base, but letting the upper back separate. Feel the stretch beginning to move deeper into the vertebra. And then inhale, lift the chin, open the elbows wide. Give a little squeeze to the shoulder blades as you separate through the collarbone. Lift up tall. And then exhale, drop back on the sternum. And this time round through the spine, so round through the mid-back. Let the head fall down towards the tops of the thighs, and let the elbows again just hang heavy. Maybe take a little gentle rock there. Inhale to curl back up. So we're using our abdominals, pull the navel into the spine, using those lower abdominals. Core to push the body up, open the elbows wide, lift the heart. And again, exhale to curl inward. Just beginning to match movement to breath. Let the mid-back soften, let the shoulder blades separate. Connecting movement to breath to help slow everything down, the heart rate, central nervous system, ego voice. Just letting everything come into the here and now, settling into this breath. Exhaling forward and down, just feeling those muscles down the spine, down to the lower back, just beginning to get a gentle stretch. The inhale rising back up, opening the elbows wide. And this time we'll let the fingertips separate and we'll cactus the elbows wide and open the palms of the hands so that the forearms can press back a little, opening into the chest. Take another breath there. Inhale, we'll reach left hand to the sky, or right hand comes down to either to the earth if you're seated or onto the side of your stool. Drop the shoulders, square off the hips, and then exhale, plant down to that left sit bone to take the arm up and over into a side stretch. We're getting reach and separation down that left side body. Breathe. Inhale, begin to extend both arms back up tall. Exhale, cactus, elbows wide, broaden the chest, find space, elbow to elbow, sternum outward. And then inhale, right arm to the sky, left hand to the earth or the side of the chest. Using that as your support, your base, drop the shoulders, exhale, reach over the top of the head. Feel that side stretch from hip bone to shoulder, shoulder to fingertips. Breathe. Inhale, back up to center. This time we'll take a twist. Inhale to find space. Exhale to twist down and around to the right. Twisting right to left. Dropping the fingertips where they land, either on the side of the hip or the side of the chest. Take an inhale to just check in with your own alignment. You want a long line, even though we're twisting, we want the heart over the tailbone, the throat and the crown all in line. Send the knees into the ankles, so we're pressing the knees strong into the earth, stabilizing our base before twisting a little deeper. Finding that twist from the base of the rib cage. Broaden collarbones, lengthen neck. Twist a little deeper, taking the gaze, the chin with you. Inhale, unravel, gently rising up to the fingertips to come back to center. Unravel, and then exhale, twisting down and around to the left, keeping the length through the waist. Try not to compress your way into the ribs, keep the knees grounded, and then exhale, twisting a little deeper. Breathe, feel that kind of restriction around the ribs as we twist, but still sending the breath into the side walls of the lungs. Neck is long, jaw is soft. Uncrease the brow. Inhale, unravel to come back up to center. And if you're on your knees or in seated cross-legged position, we're still going to roll forward. So a hinge from the hip. Take the belly over the thigh. And let the hands just hang down towards the floor. Let the head begin to separate from the tip of the neck. Head hangs heavy. Let gravity take over here and just add a gentle sway. So don't worry where or how deeply you fold. You can stretch the fingertips away from you if you want to get a deeper stretch down through the mid-back, the lower back, across the shoulder blades, into the arm. Wherever you are, just ensuring the shoulder blades aren't hunching up towards your ears. Keep them soft, keep them separate. Breathe. Inhale, take a gentle lift. Lift the chin, find a little bit more space down from jawline to collarbone. And then exhale, rock and roll. Realigning from the spine, lower spine to mid-spine, all the way up to shoulders. Let the head rise back in center. And just take a little breath there to pause and to observe how the spine feels now. We're going to change now onto the mat. Just be warming up nice and slowly. So just shifting your stool over to one side, coming onto the knees, sitting back into the heels. If it's too strong on your knees, to sit all the way back on your heels, you can place a pillow underneath your hips or come up to high kneel. Otherwise, wherever we are, we want to take a long, straight spine. Let the tailbone tilt beneath to allow the head to arrive over the heart space. Breathe into that space. Softening into the tops of the ankles. Soften jaw. Inhale, lift the heart. Begin to take some seated cat and cow. So I'm hugging elbows in, pressing lightly into the palms of the hands to get a little bit more space at the top of the waist, beneath the ribcage, staying collarbones wide. And then exhale, drop under with the tailbone, curl through the spine, let the fingertips reach down towards the knees as you curl the spine in. And if this still feels too strong with your hips or your lower back, feel free to stay seated on your stool for a little bit longer to do these seated cat and cow. Just matching our heart openers with our inhale and our arches, and rounding with our exhale. Tuck the navel in, squeeze the tailbone under, separate through the shoulder blades, tuck the chin under. One more of each. Inhaling, bringing the heart forward, squeezing the elbows in, opening the collarbones to broaden the base of the throat. Exhale to round. This time as we come up, inhaling, we'll take the hands out behind us, interlacing the fingers there, pulling the knuckles down towards the big toes behind you or towards the back of the chair if you're still seated. Squeeze the shoulder blades, float the arms up and away. It's a really annoying spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow over the thighs. Let the head hang or meet the mat. And lift just the knuckles up towards the ceiling or the sky. Squeezing the shoulder blades. You can roll gently on the forehead or let the head roll slightly from left to right just to feel that massage through to the crown. From each jawbone down to the tips of the fingers, getting the stretch into elbows, forearms, front of chest. Inhale, have a halfway lift. So as we lower the arms, lift the chin. And then exhale, release the hands up to the top of the mat. And you can be as active as feels good here. You can stretch the fingers up and away. Pull back through the pelvis. Pull back through the sit bones. Melt the chest over the sides and land on the forehead. If you want to be a little bit softer, you can bring the arms by your sides, turn the palms to face up, bend into the elbows and let the shoulders fall forward. Either way, you're going to get a long stretch through the lower and mid-back. Let the pelvis neutralize, hinging over the hip creases. And just let the breath hold you here. Just take Connect inward. Take an inhale, push the floor away with the hands to lift up through the chin, have a stretch underneath the throat. And then turning the left palm to face up, cross it beneath the right armpit, threading the needle and then resting back down onto the left ear. Just a gentle stretch, and you can be softer with this right arm if you wish. If it's too strong to extend, then tense through the fingers, lift the forearm. You can lay the arm and the forearm down. Either way, you're going to get a good separation across the mid-back and the upper back. Stretch between the shoulder blades. Let the bottom arm relax and keep both shoulders down away from the ears. Soften jaw. Close down the eyes if it feels good. Just let that left palm rest. You can feel those inhales expanding into the back body, expanding into the ribs, the lower back as you expand and grow a little wider. And then the exhales to soften and to relax deeper into the mat. Get ready to unravel. Use an inhale to press into the right hand, lift the chin. And then exhale, extend the left arm out long. And cross the right arm beneath, in front of the knee, across the chest. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and come back down to land on the right ear. Again, we can be super soft with the left hand. You can relax the forearm, bend into the elbow. Or you can be a little bit more active and tense through the fingers and lift the forearm but slide the shoulders down away from the ears. Keeping the shoulders on the back. Relax the bottom arm. Feel that opposite pull and direction across the shoulders. So one arm's going one way and the other arm's going the other. So you're getting that separation across the shoulder blades. Breathing, letting it all go. Take an inhale to press into the left hand. Get a little bit of lift off. Stretch the right arm away. Open the knees a little wider. Pull back through the hip creases. And then we'll walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. So coming right off your mat, pulling the heart forward. Gently away from the hips, and then exhale, melting down, letting the head hang between the elbows and letting the chest and the waist hang over that right thigh. If you've gone too far, you'll feel a little bit of a twinge in that left side of your neck. So come back a little, ease off, relax the elbows, let the upper arms soften, let the shoulder blades relax. You're feeling more stretch down that left side of ribs, left side of waist, moving deeper into the spine, getting more oxygen into the spinal column as we send these different flexions and bends and rotations. Inhale, press into the hands to halfway rise, and then walking the hands over to the left, just going over till you feel a stretch. Pull the heart over the left thigh, and then soften down over the thigh, head between the elbows. Inhale, rise, press the floor away, get a halfway lift. Exhale, hands back to center in line with the shoulders, a little bit wider, and then lift the hips up so we're in our tabletop position. Planting the hands down beneath the shoulders, take an inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, tilt the tailbone up. Staying open, abdominals, staying open, heart space, and then exhale like a wave, tuck the tailbone, separate into the lower back, mid back, upper back, back of the neck as you press the floor away. And then inhale, drop back to a neutral spine, tuck the belly in, and send the right foot out wide in line with the left knee, sorry. We're getting a stretch already into the right hip. So if this is too strong, continue with just the regular cat and cow. We're going to add a little bit more stretch into the back of the pelvis and into the inner thigh. So keep the hips square, just check in, your hips look equal, your shoulders are balanced. Take an inhale, curl under. This time with our cat pose, taking our inhale to lift the belly in towards the spine, tuck the chin, try and keep that pinky toe edge of the foot grounded, and then exhale into your cow pose, tilting the body up and away. Inhale, find that cat pose, tucking the spine under. Exhale, open into cow. Feeling a stretch down the leg. Inhale again, one more of these. Exhale, split. Coming down onto forearms now. If this is enough, can we just hold here, open the collarbone, and just extend through that right kneecap and pull back slightly through the hip creases. You're going to find a little bit more intensity around that right thigh, right hip. And we can just add a gentle sway forward and back here, trying to keep the outer edge, inner edge, balls and heels of that right foot grounded. If it's too strong, we can ease off a little and soften into the knee. Otherwise, try and keep it extended. We're just massaging into that hip space. Glutes hold loads of tension, which can also kind of pull on your lower back. So we're going to try and ease that tension out before we go any further. If it feels good and right, you can go even further and drop all the way back, extending the hips back to the heel, bowing the head down. But otherwise, just going back to where you feel a comfortable stretch, not pushing too hard. Just finding a little pause in that edge of flexibility. So finding where the resistance is and just hovering there on that edge of resistance. Never pushing through. Just breathing and observing what happens, what your body needs when you're there. Inhale, coming back up onto forearms. Pressing the floor away, coming back up onto hands, hands underneath shoulders. Elongate through the spine, send the shoulders down your back. And then relax the leg back in. Press back to child's pose. Exhaling, kissing the mat with the forehead. And then inhaling, rippling forward to find tabletop as we extend to the other side. The left foot, exactly the same, comes out in line with the right knee. Finding connection with the whole of the left foot. Stabilize your spine. Breathe, shoulders down away from ears, lengthen neck. Inhale. Find your cat pose. Begin to curl under, tucking the tailbone, arching through the spine, pressing the floor away to separate the shoulder blades. Exhale to find cow. Bringing heart forward and up and away. Inhale, curl under the cat pose. Exhale, splay open for cow. Inhale under, feeling that stretch all the way down to the extended leg, and then releasing to a neutral spine. Breathe, pressing to the pinky toe edge of the left foot to move the fingers forward so you can come down onto forearms, and just taking a little sway back and forward. Just checking in with that edge, that range of motion in the left hip, in the shoulders. Moving mindfully and intentionally with your breath. Just pausing where you feel enough stretch in that left leg. You can feel it in the outside of the ankle. You can feel it into the inner and outer thigh if you extend through the kneecap. You're lifting the kneecap up towards the thigh. If it feels good and right, we can press the hips all the way back and melt down over the thigh. Just go to where it feels good and right for you. Don't force. That stretch moving up to the lower back, mid back, fingertips. Inhale, lift the chin, look up. Come back down onto forearms and push the hips forward until we come back onto hands. And then bring the knee back in. And press the hips back. Bringing the arms by your sides to lay the chest over the thighs, drop down onto forehead, take your child's pose. So it feels nice, you can have a little sway on the forehead, massaging the third eye, releasing any tension across the brow. then exhale, slowly roll back up to sitting, coming back up onto the heels, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, bring the hands out behind you, take another stretch for the front body, squeezing the shoulder blades, opening the collarbone. If it feels good and right, we can lean back towards the mat behind us and continuing to lift the heart up. Press into the fingertips, extend through the elbows. If it feels good and right, you feel strong enough to lift the hips up and away from the heels, press them forward. Feel the stretch coming up from the knees to the hip flexors to the collarbones. Press into the shins, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, exhale to lower back down. Remember, you don't need to lift the hips if it feels too strong. And then come up for a downward facing dog now. So stretch the hands up to the top of the mat. Tuck the toes under, and helps to get a little bit of momentum. So let the hips fall forward slightly, and then lift the knees to push back and up. You can keep the knees soft here. Have a little sway. Don't worry if your heels don't reach the floor. Don't worry if you can't extend all the way through the knees. Press back through the hands. Try and find balance through all four corners of your base. Let the head dangle between the arms. Lift the hips. And then we'll inhale, walk forward to the center of the mat. So just let the feet come forward a few steps. Hip distance apart, so while we're down here, just check in that your feet are parallel to each other. They're parallel to the edges of your mat. Take a nice generous bend into the knees, pull the heart forward, and then exhale, reach for either elbow, and have a little sway in ragdoll rock here. Should ease out any tension we have in the lower waist, lumbar, back of pelvis, and hamstrings and glutes. Let the head just shake gently from side to side. Inhale, begin to extend through the knees. You'll feel your heart rise up a little. Look forward. And then we'll bend into the knees and come all the way down onto our mat. Hands are there for support, to lower the hips down. Shuffling down your mat until we can roll all the way down onto our backs. Bring the knees into the chest. And again, enjoying a massage for the lower back and pelvis here. The knees just hip distance apart, feet soft, hanging from the tips of the ankles. Broaden into your collarbones and splay the elbows wide. If your elbows are hugged into the side of your chest, you're going to feel compressed and restricted in your ribs. So open them out wider. Feel that expansion across front and back of the ribs, across the chest. And enjoy that little massage for the lower back. Letting the feet come down to the mat, we'll take our bridge pose. You have an annoying bubble, take it out. So we want to find our base and our support first. So our feet are hip distance apart, if not just slightly wider. We want to make sure that our knees feel really anchored over our ankles and that our hips are balanced. So you want to feel the support of your sacrum, but also to tuck the tailbone in towards you a little. You can feel the pressure of the lumbar spine as it curls into the mat. So you want to feel that support of the lumbar beneath you. Inhale. And then exhale, release the pelvis to neutral. So you'll feel that lumbar come back up and away. Doing the same with our shoulders, just making sure we have balance. So wiggling the shoulders into a neutral position, swaying the collarbones wide, and placing the hands down, palms facing down either side of the hips. Just walk the fingers down towards the bottom of your mat a little, so you're getting the stretch from your jawbone to your collarbones, all the way down to the tips of the fingers. Splay the palms wide, and splay the toes wide, so we're broadening every aspect of our base as much as we can. Take an inhale, tilt the pelvis gently towards you, so there you have your connection to your lumbar spine. And then exhale, push into hands, push into feet, and lift the pelvis up. Just coming up till you find support of your shoulder blades. Open them a little wider. Press down into your elbows, press into the palms of the hands. You can have your hands on your hips for a little bit of support if you need to. You want to feel like your hips are pulling gently away from the rib cage, pulling down towards the knees, but the knees are locked over your ankles, so they're really supported and stable. Open the collarbones, pressing the shoulder blades into the mat, and finding a neutral point for your chin where you're not over lifting or not over squeezing into your throat. Find a neutral point where your throat feels relaxed and open. Soften the jaw. Feel the heat building through the thighs and the glutes. Squeeze the glutes to lift a little higher. Inhale. And then exhale, curl through the spine. So begin to curl the collarbones inwards. You can feel the spine rolling down one vertebra at a time through the lumbar. Pelvis comes to neutral. Inhale, tilt the pelvis to neutral and let the lumbar spine come back up. Breathe there just to soften. I'm going to bring the left knee up into the chest. Interlacing the fingers, giving it a nice strong hug inward here. We can either keep that right knee and right foot where it is, or to get a little bit more stretch in the right hip flexor, we can stretch that right foot down and away. Continue to hug the knee in. So we're feeling the stretch around the outside and the back of the left hip and glute, lower back. And we're going to add a twist. We'll use our right hand on the outside of the left knee. You can rest the toes onto the right thigh. Extend the left arm out wide in line with the shoulder. And then rolling onto the outside of the right hip to take the left knee over to the right side of your mat. Your right hip is grounded, your left hip is curling over the top. Left arm is extended, keep the left shoulder grounded and turn your head to the left. As we come into this twist, quite often your right shoulder will tense up just to have a little bit of extra support while you twist. Once we find balance, we can relax that arm, relax the shoulder. So feeling the stretch coming all the way from that right jawline, down the right side of the throat, across the chest, left fingertips to left shoulder, and then left shoulder across the ribs to that right hip. Breathe. Feel that openness around the back of the waist, around the hip. Allowing the spine to neutralize, allowing the waist to lengthen. Breathe. Getting ready to leave your twist as an inhale. Turn your head back to center, realign your neck. And then exhale, let the hands help, draw the knee back to center, giving it another nice strong hug. Squeeze it in, elbows out wide. And then curl your chin in, lift the head, lift the shoulders, squeeze the navel into the spine, point through toes, and squeeze the nose up towards your knees. You're getting a nice rounding through the back of the spine, separating through the shoulder blades, stretch for the back of the neck, supporting your lumbar into the mat. And then inhale, switch, begin to bring that right knee in, extend to the left, either bending to drop the foot down or stretching it all the way down to the bottom of your mat as you lay your chest and your head back down into the mat. Giving that knee a nice strong hug, separating the collarbone, letting the head come back to neutral. Feel free if you want to do some ankle rolls. Breathe into that stretch. And we'll take our twist on this side. We'll take the right arm out wide and we'll use the left hand to gently roll that hip over on top of the left. Keep that right shoulder grounded as you turn your head to the right. Right palm facing up towards the ceiling will help outwardly rotate into or externally rotate into that right shoulder. So the shoulder feels open. We take our twist. Just letting that left hand rest there, just for a little bit of extra weight. Feeling that rotation around the base of ribs, around the waist, into the lower back. And inhaling, turning the head back to center. Enjoying that stretch all the way down that right back of ribs to that right hip. And then gently rotating, hands come back onto the knees, bring that other knee in. Giving them both a hug. Bring the knees together and then gently circling them around. So one hand on either knee. Just draw circles with the knees over the hips. And you can make these as small or as wide as feels good. Maybe 2 or 3 in one direction. Try and do it really intentionally and slowly with your breath. You feel your lumbar, your sacrum, the hips. Reversing when you feel ready. A couple in the opposite direction. You might notice that one direction feels a little bit more natural, a little easier perhaps. And giving the knees one final squeeze in. And then letting them come to rest over the ankle. Have 2 options just to finish realigning the hips here. So if you feel like you have too much, if you have quite a little, there's still pain in the lower back, it's still giving you a little bit of grief and you feel like opening the knees wide might encourage that tenderness. So option 1 is to open the knees wide, soles of the feet together, rest the palms of the hands wide. Or if that feels unavailable, if it just doesn't feel like it's going to do you any favors in your lower back, heel toe, or just walk your feet out to the edges of your mat and let your knees fall inward to rest against one another. This will still open the back of the pelvis, but it will do it in a much more gentle way. We have the support of the knees inwards. You get a different stretch, but still helping to balance out the lower back, let the pelvis just relax into neutral, whether you've gone for knees together or knees out wide. Let the chin fall in towards your throat, open the arms out nice and wide by your sides, palms facing up, let the shoulder blades fall to the earth as your collarbones relax. Whichever option you've gone for, just closing down the eyes and letting the spine come back to a neutral, natural position. Allow your breath to return to neutral, natural, easy pace. So there's no force. Allowing the inhales to fill you up, belly, ribs, collarbone, and then to empty back down, collarbone, ribs, and navel, dropping down and in, just gently, without curling through the spine, without clenching through the jaw, or squeezing through the brow, finding a heaviness. And wherever your knees are, bringing them back into the chest for one big squeeze, taking the feet up towards the sky. You can use the hands on the back of the thighs just to help flex, point, to rotate through the ankles perhaps. And then lowering the feet down to the mat. Stretching the legs away as you lift the arms up and over for a full body stretch. Reaching away through the toes, laying the fingers wide. Puffing up into the ribs to spring the base of the ribs up and away from the mat. Settling into Shavasana by taking the feet towards the edges, the corners of your mat, falling out wide, and then bringing the arms down wide by your side, palms facing up. Broaden naturally into the collarbones, working outwards from the sternum to allow the shoulders and the upper arms to just drift back to the mat. Let your neck lengthen with a slight drop of the chin. Let your eyes drop towards the back of your head, closing down the mouth, the eyes, softening the jaw, and smoothing out the brow. Let the pelvis once more. Just tilt to neutral and let yourself feel the supreme heaviness, letting the weight of the body go as you sink into relaxation. Just pausing for a couple of moments here in rest and stillness. Any extra problems with your lower back, you might like to have a bolster handy to place under your knees. Just feeling a gentle tingling in the palms of the hands or the tips of the fingers. Maybe a gentle tingling or vibrating down into the toes. Allowing the breath to come and go naturally, but filling all the ribs, all of the lungs, expanding side walls, opening up between ribs, expanding skin and tissue with each inhale. And each exhale, just letting go, letting gravity draw you gently down to the earth beneath. Pausing to acknowledge this connection and sense of grounding as you really surrender the weight of the body into the mat. Enjoy one more big full inhale, maybe the biggest breath of your day so far. And then out through the mouth, drop it all out. Exhale,